So I ended up going back to the doctors and come to find out that I was pregnant. Well, thank the good Lord for my wonderful baby who was born today, 3 years ago. But we were nervous that my back was just going to mess up during the whole thing. And so went through that. Luckily, nothing. There was one day that I was like, oh my gosh, my back. And it was towards the end. I was like, everything's been fine. Oh my gosh, my back just completely messed up. And I was scared. It was only the one day, so I don't know if it was how he was positioned. Because he was a pretty big boy. He was 10'3" and 23 inches long. Yeah, and he's still massive. So, after that, well, let's talk about delivery. I didn't want an epidural during this pregnancy during the delivery of my third child because I was scared to have any type of needles going in my back with having the back surgery. Everything progressed fine. Well, he just didn't want to come out. Come to find out why, like I said, he was huge. So I ended up having to get the epidural because they were sending me in a C-section. Not happy at all. Epidural didn't work, had to get put to sleep. And when I got put to sleep, I don't know if it was just, everything was overwhelming. And then the medication, I started feeling like I couldn't breathe. And I've been put to sleep for like my wisdom teeth and the back surgery, but I don't know what it was about this one. I ripped my arms out of the straps. I tried to tell them that I couldn't breathe. So at that instant, in my head was, I can't breathe. I'm stopping to breathe. I'm going to die. I'm never going to see my kids again. Never. I'll never get to see this baby boy, and my other two kids are going to be left without me. Well, I woke up from the recovery room telling all the nurses that, and I don't remember that. I remember the first things that came out of my mouth was, how much did he weigh? How long was he? But apparently I told the nurses all about that. So, sorry, because I don't remember. But it was like, wow. So it made me look back and think about what I've been doing with my life and how I've been living it. And I was like, it's time to change. I used to sit there. I don't want to say I was a bad mom, but definitely could have done more. I sat and was addicted to my Facebook games. We could only smoke in my room. So, I could only smoke in my room. I'd put the wonderful towel through the doorway so that nothing would get out. And, yeah. Anyways, the house, I would let the apartment just, I didn't keep it clean. I didn't want to do anything other than, hey, what game am I going to play next? What am I going to do? Let's just sit here and play games, and let's play games, and let's play games. And I sat there and did nothing with my life. I was doing nothing to better myself. I was out from a job because of the back surgery and then going into the pregnancy. So I was living off of welfare and doing nothing. So after my son was born, I was like, this is my time. This is it. When you're younger, you always think about what you want to be when you grow up and what you want to do. And in my head, I wanted to do something big with my life. I thought becoming an actress model would be that thing. I'm glad that I got pregnant with my first child, because I was actually going through a Barbizon modeling and acting class at the time. So I had to quit because I got pregnant with my first son. So when I got back, when I was able to start working out, I was like, this is it. I had hip-hop abs from 2008, and I went through it for a while, lost weight. This was right after my second child. So I was like, okay, I'll restart this back up. Love Shanti, and I love to dance, so it was perfect. I didn't have the schedule because, unfortunately, I had it given to me as a present, and it was purchased off of Amazon. Didn't have the schedule, didn't know that there was a schedule, didn't know that there was like a food plan or anything. I just went back and forth from these DVDs for what I wanted to do. I found 2 that I really loved, and that was it. All of a sudden, my sister came up to me one day, and she's like, Ashton, I just ordered this program. It's crazy, because her wedding was coming up, and she wanted to lose some more weight before the wedding date. And I was like, no, I really, really love Shanti, and I love the dance and everything, and, you know, I'm just really content where I'm at. And she's like, no, it's Shanti. Shanti does this. And I'm like, what? I was like, he has another video? I'm like, that's crazy. Who would have known that people would make more videos? So I was like, well, what's it called? She's like, Insanity. She's like, just look it up. It's nuts. I just ordered it. You're going to have to do this with me. So pull up YouTube, look at it, and I was like, this is not the Shanti that I know. That is not Shanti. Oh my gosh. The infomercial was just insane. There was no other word for it. And I'm like, whatever. I was like, bring it over when you get it and let's start it up. Let's do this. So she brought it over. We had to do the fit test. And I had to take my before pictures. The befores that you see on all my befores, my sister took. And I remember just sitting there and feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't want her to take my photos. I didn't want her to take my photos. I didn't want her to see me. And it's crazy because she's been in the living room with my first 2 children. Anyways, I did not want her to take my before photos. That's how horrible I felt about how I looked. My own sister. But I was like, I have to do this. I gotta take them. Just take them. Let's go. So we took them. And we actually took them after the first fit test. As you'll notice, on my backside, the underwear right in the back, there's sweat. So I took the before photos after the fit test. And the fit test, when I realized that the first 9 minutes was just the warm-up and that wasn't the fit test, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, no way. No. I'm like, this is nuts. Went through it though. Here comes push-up jacks. Shanti, knocking out push-up jacks. If you don't know what push-up jack is, look it up. But you're in push-up mode and you're hopping out and up and hop. It's a push-up jack. Yeah, he's knocking them out, and I'm like, yeah. It's like, all right, here we go. You know, we had to write down how many stuff we did and keep track of it, and went down to do a push-up jack, and I fell flat on my chest. Oh my gosh. So what'd we do? We sat there and laughed the whole time. That was a big 0. 0 for that. But I was determined. And I was like, all right. I was like, yes, this is a challenge. I'm going to do this. I was still scared for my back. But I started the insanity and went on to do it. A couple weeks go by. First 2 weeks, oh my gosh, I cried. Well, I cried throughout here and there, but first 2 weeks, I could barely walk. Like, I was so sore. I thought I hurt myself because I didn't know that someone could be that sore from doing a workout. How in the world? Like, I've never done anything like this before. But in my head, I was like, if I'm this sore, if I can barely walk, like, this has to be working. This has to be working. Like, let's go. Let's do this. And that I earned it t-shirt, I wanted it. I wanted to earn it. So I kept going. I was posting on the Insanity Facebook page, and I had 2 people contact me. 2. Asking me, about joining their motivational group. And I'm like, like, well, so I looked at both their pages. They're both coaches. And I'm just like, crap, I got to decide between 2 people here. I was like, why? Like, this isn't okay. Like, can't just one person come to me and then let it be that? But I did a little looking, looked at their profiles, looked at what they do. One had 3 kids and was married, and the other was this girl who was married and was working on her fitness journey. And I looked at the profiles and I was just like, man, you'd think that I'd relate to someone who has the same amount of kids as me, as a mom, and this and that. But something screamed at me saying to go the other way. And so, therefore, Lindsay Weiss became my coach, and I joined her motivation group. I was so happy because I continued to post in there, and people were commenting, and people were telling me good job, and they were all excited when I'd post, and it was just amazing. I'm like, oh, well, let's try this or let's do that. So shortly after being in her group, she's like, do you know you'd make an amazing coach? I'm like, what? I'm like, do you understand I haven't even done a first round of Insanity yet? I'm like, do you understand that I'm over 200 pounds? How in the world can I be a coach? How can I be a coach? So I kind of just brushed it off my shoulder. And mind you, I was not doing anything at the time other than, well, I was doing things at the time. I was being a stay-at-home mom, which is huge. But brushed it off. Started running this contest for my daughter for a photo. And first prize got $500. So going hard on that. And it was very, very close with another photo. And I wasn't very nice. And I apologize. So she's like, hey, if I help you and I get some more likes on your photo and you win, will you sign up as a coach? It's like, whatever. I'm like, if I win $500, the $39.99 startup fee, whatever. If I decide to do it, if I don't, it's not that huge of a loss to me. Sure, let's do it. Well, I won, and I signed up as a Beachbody coach. Well, where did that take me? I'm going to make another video so that you guys can watch us in parts. So there's the beginning. I'll tell you where it took me. I'll see you guys in a second.